for Forsaken Santiago stepping into the ring right now. RP4 coming back into the ring. And let me update you guys on the bracket. So with that win right there, Sherry gets to come back and commentate with us full time. I'm pretty sure that's not the way he wants to hear it, but that's the consolation prize. And next we're going to have Forsaken Santiago Joseph going up against Rob and RP4. And so what do you think went right for you in that matchup? I mean, what really went right for Rob on that one?
Well, I think definitely I think that I think it was probably a bit of fear from me. I'm very uncomfortable in that matchup, and then definitely what he did right. Anytime I was holding shield too long, or holding reflector too long, or using like my laser a bit too much, he basically knew exactly, like he reacted very well. There were times where I would hold shield just a bit too long, and he would know that I was holding shield too long right as I recognized it. And what he was doing was he'd basically punish me for doing that and racked on damage, whether it was through a grab or he noticed that I wasn't shielding and stuff like that, or like being too static and just standing one spot,
Gotcha.
And he'd throw projectiles and whatever. And he took full advantage of that. But yeah, moving into this match, I think it's interesting. I've never seen Rob's Inkling. So this will be a new character. Inkling is pretty decent. They're a very aggressive character. Lots of options. Like they have that grenade, that splat bomb. It'll cover you in paint, and the paint actually has a property where it will slow you down. And whenever you get hit by Rob, like if Rob were to hit Santiago while he's covered in paint, he'll actually deal a certain damage extra. Like he'll get a bonus amount of damage when he gets hits on him.
Oh, so very much like Splatoon. In Splatoon, you get not only damage buffs, but you also, when the person is in enemy paint, they're actually slower in enemy paint. So that's really cute. Count on Nintendo to think of those things.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see how Nintendo, like when they introduce a new character, they try to like represent them very much like as if you're still playing that game that they're from. Gotcha. And I think Splatoon is represented very well.
How do you think the ARMS character, is it Min Min, I think?
Yes, Min Min.
How do you think she's going to do in this game based on what we saw on the Direct?
It's a mixed bag, I personally think. So in terms of competitive play, she's going to be okay. She seems to have lots of moves that, while they are, like, some of them seem a little slow, she definitely has fast moves. It's not like she's too slow or anything. She also has a reflector on one of her smash attacks, which is something I've never seen before. And that's going to be very useful, especially against projectile characters. However, I think in terms of, like, being true to her series, like, and being represented well, I think she definitely fits the bill. Like, like, I've never seen a character in this game. I don't think one's ever been created where your A button is like a right punch and your B button is like a left punch. Like, that's really interesting to me.
Very true.
And like all of the different weapon switches with the down B and everything, like that's really cool. And the amount of range she has on those hits are really, like, it's crazy. So I think, I hope she's not too good, because that'd suck. But because all you'll see is Min Min everywhere. And while I love ARMS, it's fun to see other characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is getting pretty close. I think that one SD that Rob had kind of hurt a little bit. He had a decent lead, and now it's getting to the point where it's really close. And I have a feeling that this will go back to being those, like, when one person takes a turn dealing damage and the next person does damage type of matches. It's just neck and neck right now.
Yeah, I was going to say neck and neck, tied on stock and pretty close on percent too. Both of them in kill range.
Mm-hmm. Inkling definitely has no worry in terms of getting kills too, especially in this matchup. Her splat roller, since it does get the berry, there's lots of kill confirms that you can get just from, like,
because here it looks like one. Bingo.
Yep, there it is. Like that one specifically is super hard, especially for certain characters to deal with. Because Inkling, when she does that, she has what's called a low profile, And so, like, just because of how short she already is, when she bends over to, like, push the roller forward, it makes her harder for certain characters to hit her, like, dead on. And then they end up missing and getting punished by getting buried because of it. And it's something I know Inkling struggles with. So we'll kind of get to see how Santiago deals with that. Because I know he's lamented to me about his struggles with Inkling as a matchup.
No, I could imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. It's mostly from what I've. Oh my goodness. It's mostly the aggression that Inkling can do off stage. Like as you can see, like the amount of damage that Rob can probably rack on just from keeping Santiago off stage. Like, it's basically bullying. Like the amount of damage that you can get while keeping him off stage, and then on top of that, the projectiles that Inkling has are really good with the splat bomb and the gun and everything. So Santiago, I think, just has to play very careful.
Tied up at whoa!
Ooh,
that had to be a good read. I could imagine that can't be a mistake. Let's take a look on that one again. Yep, just kind of read that one out on that one.
Yeah,
I had to see a replay in order to make that make sense.
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably the helpful part about replays is, like, as a commentator, you get to be able to rewatch, like, just whenever something like that happens, like, you get to just, if you're confused or whatever, you throw it back, let's see what happens.
And let's see what actually happened, right.
Yes. And Santiago, I know he does do that often where he'll actually mix you up and make you think he's going to cut down the tree and have you stay away from that portion of the stage.
Gotcha.
Because if you're close to the tree, it'll, like, it's basically...
It'll fall on you, right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he has the axe, which also is basically like a smash attack. Like, it's pretty damaging. And it has better range than most of Villager's smash attacks in general, which is probably why he likes to use it too. And it's pretty interesting to see when he's able to throw it out, because in situations like that, it'll really hurt.
Nice. Well, at this point, let me move back to the game, and that puts Santiago up 1-0 in this set. So now that we're best 2 out of 3 again, can I get Handyman? Handy, if you're still there on Discord, you can hop into the lobby, and you'll be playing the winner of this match right here. Whoa!
Jeez.
Talking about bullseye shot.
Yeah, really. Like, that's honestly something that Rob did really well against me too. Whether it was the boomerang, bomb, or arrow, even, he literally sniped me out of the air at times, or gimped my recovery just because he was able to, like, get one arrow shot, you know. And I think that this matchup, like, while the percent lead and stock lead is still in the favor of Rob, it is possible that we can see a turnaround come from Santiago. But I think the problem with that, like in terms of just expecting it to happen, is that this matchup, because of how many projectiles Rob can throw, he can kind of be a bit more passive now, even just since he already's got this large lead. And even then, it's really not that much of a difference in, like, gameplay perspective for him. Like, because his game plan literally is just, like, because you're Link, you can have a good mix of, like, options. You have your projectiles, you have your good sword hits, and then you have your good out-of-shield options with, like, your up B and your forward tilt and things like that. And so it's all about kind of just mixing up Santiago at this point, like, confusing him and making him make a mistake.
Yeah.
And like that, he's got a 3-stock lead just from this character switch.
Can you imagine getting thrown in a net that high? In a net.
Like, Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I find it so funny. A lot of the stuff that Villager does, like their down tilt is literally them pulling weeds, and it can kill. Like, why is it that me pulling grass out of the ground can kill a person?
Oh, Joe D. McPhee with the Bucky O'Hare reference. We might be showing our age on that. Not everybody knows about Bucky O'Hare, man. Incredibly difficult game.
Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Honestly, anything can kill at this point. A dash attack definitely would. It's one of the strongest in the game Link has, and it's something that will catch players off guard if they're not aware. Same thing with his forward tilt. They're both very strong. And at this percent, really anything will kill. Yep.
Ooh, with the tempo right there. Let's catch a replay on that one real quick. Probably had a pretty good feeling he would be safe and could throw that out, regardless of the situation on that one.
Yeah, and even let's just say he misses that. I'm sure at that sword's length, Rob definitely could have shielded anything Santiago throws besides maybe a grab.
Gotcha. Okay.
And a grab wouldn't have killed. Villager really doesn't have a throw that kills. Sometimes back throw.
Yeah, the Goro duck. That's a pretty funny way to put that one too, D-Mer. He did have a pretty good duck on that one. Goro duck. All right, guys. So, funny enough, we were able to hit our goal on stars tonight. Let's try to check out and see where we are as far as the follower goal goes for this month. I know we've been working on that a little, and we blew that one out the water as well. All right, so take both of those off the stream. Congratulations, everybody. Really happy to have both of those come through. Let me make it back over to full game. Right now, that puts them at one win apiece right now.
Yeah, the change in stage to FD I think is a bit interesting. I think both games recently were on Battlefield, if I'm not mistaken, and it'll be interesting. And the reason I say that is because both these characters do rely on projectiles, and so I guess we'll get to see which one is able to take priority as stage first. And right now, from the looks of it looks like it's Rob with Link. Gotcha. Especially because that bomb takes up so much of the stage, and then all you have to do then really is kind of force them to play within that little pocket of space you allow, because he's bouncing it all around, and you take that little chip damage from it when it explodes, and it adds up pretty quickly too.
All right, so just for the reminder at home, this is not losers finals, so there's a pretty good opportunity. This is a best 2 out of 3. The winner of this one is going forward into the next round, which is losers finals, which will be a best 2 out of 3. And we're currently seeing how that kind of goes in just a second. Right now, both of them, or no, actually, Rob up 1 stock at this point.
And it's going to be harder and harder to get that off as time goes on too, because eventually it's going to get to a point where Rob's going to have so much damage on him that the rage is only going to help him kill Santiago faster and take that stock. And that I think you see that a lot, especially at a high level. Like if they have rage, it can be very challenging for players, especially when the person losing is figured out. Like if all their options are just getting smothered like this. And you're gonna see them try anything like that, like the bowling ball. Old Faithful takes the stock.
Oh, almost hit the rocket on the way out on that one.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. I will say, that's...
Oh, a little bit of an SD maybe? Or maybe used his jump probably accidentally.
Yeah. So, what happened there, to take you play-by-play, was Villager, he threw out the slingshot. And what happened was he jumped right as the slingshot came out. And so the slingshot hit him right after he used his jump. And what Rob was probably trying to do was get the maximum amount of distance off his jump and then use a B so that he could try and have an attempt to get the ledge. And what happened though was because the slingshot hit him, like at the beginning of the jump, he didn't get anywhere near the amount of distance
he thought he would have.
Yeah. And it's actually something that's quite common with Villager, is that type of gimp, and I hadn't thought of that until now as something that might be able to even switch the... Oh, never mind. I was going to say switch the turn, but the situations up. Because had he gotten another gimp like that on that last stock, he could have kind of won the game with a little bit of cheese, if you will.
Definitely, I got you on that one. So, with that in place, we have Andy, who is waiting in the losers finals right now. That was a really good 2-1 victory right there. Rob going on to losers finals right now, and he's going to take on Handy in that one. And while we're at it, let's take a look at a couple of these. Let's lock this guy up.